Let's not waste any time. Guys, we're here to talk about the Pacific Crest Trail, of course. Congratulations on getting your permits. It's official. You guys
Thanks,
should be
buddy.
excited. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I want to start with a rapid round of questions for you guys, if you don't mind. And Ben, I'm going to start with you. We're going to fire them off. You ready?
Cool. What do you got?
All right. Ben, how old are you?
24.
Rapid, man. What's your career?
I work as a mechanical engineer, but I want to spend my time in the outdoors as much as I can.
So, are you leaving your job?
Thinking about it.
Well, you have to disappear for this many months, right?
I am leaving for this. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Is it true that you're afraid of goldfish? Not the fish,
No,
but the
who's
crackers.
not?
Not the
No, I
crackers.
love
Either.
goldfish.
All right. What's the PCT stand for?
The Pacific Coast Trail? Is that right?
All right. If your dog Wicket learned to speak and asked to come with you, would you bring him?
No, he would die in the desert.
Oh, good answer. Too much of a friend. All right, Will, we're switching around. Rapid. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. How old were you when you thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail?
18, 19, one of them.
You guys, I'm glad we're doing a warm-up. How many miles is the PCT?
We say 2,650. I think it's around 2,661.
Okay.
Once you get to Canada.
Varies year to year, right? Will, are your folks thrilled that you're taking time away to college to do this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have full support.
Good. I told you I'm sharing this, right?
There's some lingering doubts, but I'm lucky to have pretty much supportive parents.
All right. What states does the PCT go through?
California, Oregon, and then Washington.
Good. We're getting some background for everybody here. Lastly, will you keep the trail name Leapfrog for the PCT?
I sort of plan on it. Leapfrog I'm kind of attached to it, so I think I'll probably just introduce myself as Leapfrog from day one and see if it sticks.
So is it going to be Leapfrog and Flapjack Daniels?
That's the game plan.
Yeah, I like it. Flapjack with the backpack wall behind him. It looks like he's at the shop right now. All right, thanks for entertaining us with that. How about a quick introduction? Ben, you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. My name is Ben. Like I said, 24 years old. I work as a mechanical engineer. I've been dreaming about doing the PCT for going on 5 years now, so it's really exciting that we're finally here. I overplan everything, so I've kind of had to draw myself back a little bit and get ready to just live day by day out there.
Thanks, man. Will?
Yeah, I'm 23. I am an environmental policy student at Ohio State University right now, or the Ohio State University. And definitely excited to graduate and give myself the graduation gift that just can't get better. That's hiking the PCT. This has also been a long time dream of mine, pretty much since through hiking the AT in 2016. I guess when I first got back, I was like, no, the PCT is not for me. I'll never do that. And then it kind of evolved into like, okay, maybe I'll do sections of it, but not the whole thing. And now pretty much 4 years now, I've been full-fledged. Like, I'm going to throw like the PCT. Like I got to go all in.
So I mean, I don't want to say that I played matchmaker or anything, but I mean, a certain winter trip I felt like really sparked this bond, right? You guys started talking about it like the first trip. That's the first trip you guys went on, right?
First trip we
winter trip in Rome, was that?
Yeah, and found out Ben
and then it's been
crazy fast.
Yeah, you do. So I guess like I was going to ask, how long have you guys been planning this trip? You kind of answered that. I mean, it's been years.
I think it's been in Ben's mind is like a lot longer than it's been in mine. Mine, it's kind of been like, I'm going to do this, but I haven't really dove into the planning until like the past couple months. I think Ben's been going over statistics and Excel sheets for a couple years now.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about doing this definitely for years. it's become more of a reality probably in the past 2 years, but it's definitely been something I've been thinking about for at least 3 or 4 years now. And definitely taking a deep dive about 2 years ago into all the logistics of really doing it, trying to understand what it was beforehand.
Awesome. So tell us, when is the departure date? And then could you talk a little bit about, I mean, because that just happened, that's fresh, getting the permits and that anticipation, how hard was it? Were you nervous, etc.?
Getting permits was kind of a mess, to be honest. So Will and I both had two devices up with the permit portal for the PCT. So everybody's pretty much somewhat guaranteed to get a permit. It's just a matter of getting the right date that you want. So you basically get on this website, you get in line, and then at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, they give you a random number in line, and that's what your turn is to grab your permit. So when we got in line, I had like 800 and like 1200 on my on my phone and my laptop, and then Will got like 8,000 and something else, and we
I
were
was
just kind of
way
like,
back in line.
yeah, we were kind of like, oh crap, we might not get the same date. So we just kind of had a couple frantic phone calls, and it worked out that we got the same date. We're late enough in the season, starting. A lot of people start way earlier. So it was kind of like that unreal moment when we got the same date, and it was kind of in the same time frame that we wanted to go. So the day was hectic, but the weeks after have been awesome that everything's already working out the way it's supposed to.
And it feels really good to have that permit now. We're both kind of like guaranteed that May 11th start date. So we'll probably head out to the West Coast a little bit before that, and then make sure that we're standing on the Mexico-US border on May 11th, ready to start hiking from Campo.
May 11th. We're both kind of like, how many people per day do you know for permits?
50.
50. That's
50
awesome.
per trailhead.
Okay, that makes sense. And so Ben, you said you got like 800 and 1200, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So I think when you first told me, we were talking about it, if you'd been a little bit more thoughtful to your hiking partner, you probably could have just secured 2 spots on the same day pretty quickly. But Will, he only kind of wants to go with you.
He could have saved me a little bit of stress, that's for sure.
We weren't thinking. We both had a no crap moment after I exited out of the one on my phone.
It's a long time with one person. I could vouch for that. So I'm excited for you guys. I wanted to go through, I felt like when I got back from my AT hike, Will, I'm sure you could say the same. There was a dozen or so questions that were just asked all the time. So I wanted to go through a handful of those this will be, again, some practice for you guys. And either one of you guys answer these here. How will you get your food?
Ben, you got it. You put more thought into it,
guys.
It's funny because we were actually talking about that this morning. We've gone back and forth between like, I really want to do a lot of like prep beforehand, sending boxes, things like that. Will really wants to do a lot of grocery shopping while we're out there. And I slowly we're kind of meeting in the middle as far as doing a combo of like of supply boxes and of just buying food on the trail at different grocery stores and stuff. Luckily, the wonderful people at Road Rivers and Trails are going to help support us and get us our stuff out there.
Base camp.
Heck yeah.
So I know and this is rough, I forget exactly, but like the AT crosses the road like every 5 miles. That has to be different for on the West Coast, right? Like the PCT, your access to trail towns rather. What's that look like?
Little less access to town than the AT does. I don't know what the exact breakdown is as far as how often you cross a road, but it's a little bit less, and that's why a lot of people consider the PCT more of a logistical challenge, just because you're planning longer trips out with food. I think on the AT, my longest stretch without resupplying was like 6 days. I think on the PCT, we might have like a 10 or 11-day stretch.
Yeah, so
wow, okay.
You definitely hit towns less often, and the towns you do hit, they're further off trail. So a big like numbers game that I've been playing is trying to figure out how to find the best places to stop where we can get the most the most bang for our buck, really, like looking up all the trail towns that are close and figuring out, what's got the best supplies, what's got the cheapest to hold a package, stuff like that. And like when you're in Southern California, it's pretty accessible. Then the further north you get into Oregon, into Washington, the less amenities there are, the further off trail you have to go to get your stuff. And the more we'll be counting on those, the resupply boxes and having planned that stuff out a little bit better. I think our biggest stretch right now is in the Sierras, and it's 8 or 9 days, where the PCT overlaps with the John Muir Trail. So
very cool. What same question, but water.
You guys
water
have a scarce in the desert. I think there's
right. That's what I was going to ask. You guys are starting later. You said right, later than a lot of groups would start. Does that put you in an even drier section during the drier time of year? Is this make matters worse or better?
a little bit. It's before stuff gets really bad. People start around the same time we do every year, and still make it. So it's not like that's a hindrance to us. It just means we're gonna have to carry it, sometimes more than a gallon of water with us to be able to make it for 20 miles before we can fill up again.
yeah, definitely. With the time we're starting at, we'll be going through the Mojave probably in early June, which isn't super ideal, but that'll be the probably the driest section. And then again, up north near Lassen. So kind of Northern California and then like the Mojave are the two, like, we'll see how it goes sections. There might be a couple sleep during the day, hike at night days, but you don't figure it out till you get out there. So.
And Mojave is that where,
I just love the heat. So
Mojave, is that where people leave the jugs of water? Would be through the desert stretch there. You get some trail angels.
Yeah, there's definitely good angel support and water caches. And there's a lot of resources online with gut hook guides, and there's the PCT Water Project. There's a couple different resources you can use that people are posting where the water's at, where angels have put caches and stuff like that. And I think there's even funds out there where you can chip in for that supply to be there. I know in 2020 with COVID, that wasn't happening. So a lot of blogs that I read, that was a big issue with a lot of people, that they were running out of water frequently. So hopefully it's a little better in 21 and we don't, die of dehydration.
You guys are going to be fine. You're professionals.
You keep telling me that.
Are you paying us?
Awkward. All right, let's move along. How long do you guys anticipate this to take you? Because I found this interesting. I'll let you both answer because I think you both have different answers.
Will, you first?
Yeah, Ben's gone through the statistical day by day, so he's got a more exact number. I figure it'll be about 5 months between the mileage hiking and then some 0 days built in there, and then just some random stuff that you can't predict because that's always what happens on a thru hike. So
yeah, and I'm kind of going between. So my BS breakdown is 128 days, and that's averaging like 10 miles a day for the first 10 days. So I figure, knowing Will and I, those 10 miles a day with like relatively low elevation gain, those are probably going to end up being 15 to 18 days or 18-mile days in the beginning. So we'll build zeros in the front, and then in the back, it'll all kind of balance out. So probably anywhere from 128 days to 140 days, depending on weather.
You guys are just naturally fast hikers. So like, I remember when you first told me that, I was like, that's insanely fast. Like, how are they going to pull that off? And then I remembered your pace and your age and how able you are. It's like, no, I mean, they can do that if they want to do that. Probably end up somewhere in between 128 and 150, I guess, is approximately what I was thinking.
Of course, the goal isn't to go as fast as we can. The goal is to get the most out of the experience. But at some point we are kind of racing the snows up in Washington, and it is kind of imperative that we finish before October hits.
I think that for me, that's been a big thing too, is like when I go out on a trip, part of my mindset is always, okay, I'm going to complete this trip. So I think this is one of those things where like Will has an advantage over me because he's done something like this. Like he understands the mindset going into it that like you can't just focus on finishing. You have to enjoy it while you're going along. And I've been trying to like find that. And I definitely agree with Will that like, yeah, there's definitely gonna be days we're gonna be like, no, we're not walking today. We're gonna have some fun and relax. But you don't know that till you get out there. So
Right. Yeah, seeing what groups of people you mesh up with or don't, and kind of pace changes and in-town parties and whatever, who knows, right? You kind of already answered this. I was wondering how many miles per day you'd average. You were saying 10 in the beginning. Is there quick math on like how many?
it's
What's the
about
average?
about 22 a day.
Wow, holy cow! That's so many miles a day.
So there's like
My goal is to pull it at least 140.
yeah.
We'll see if that happens. I think it's possible in some of the flatter stretches of like Northern California and Oregon. Uh, but we'll see.
Will, did you do the 40-mile challenge on the AT?
I did not. No, I took a nice 0 day in Harper's Ferry, relaxed.
You did the
Got
opposite.
to hang out in the air conditioning.
Will, the real question is, are we going to do the McDonald's challenge on the PCT?
Enlighten us.
So on the PCT in Southern California, there's a mile marker when you cross a road that says McDonald's half mile this way. And the next town where a lot of people drop a box is about a day and a half ahead. So what a lot of people will do is short themselves food till when they get to that marker. They'll hike down to McDonald's, stock up on chicken nuggets and cheeseburgers, and then finish the next day and a half with chicken nuggets and cheeseburgers.
That
Called
sounds
McDonald's
like
challenge.
just amazing. Yeah. That's not even a challenge. That's just like the natural way you hike.
It's going to be warm, but I'm pretty sure they've done studies on those cheeseburgers, and they have a pretty good shelf life in any temperature.
For
They
sure.
don't go bad.
You could pack those out.
Yeah. We've got
Well, I
like
want to
iron
know how many
stomach.
cheeseburgers you pick up.
I
What's that,
think you
Will?
just need 150 chicken nuggets and you'll be fine.
That would be better for like snacking as you go, right? Like just have like a 10 pack in your hip belt and just kind of like pop it and just keep moving.
I was thinking just fill an Nalgene.
I like it. Well, guys, you heard it. If you want to support Ben and Will on their PCT thru-hike, please send McDonald's gift cards to Roads, Rivers, and Trails, care of Ben and Will. They're accepting any McDonald's gift cards. It will get them at least a day and a half through the desert. So thank you. All right, moving forward. All right, so this is a big one, guys. Serious question. They all have been, but people ask this all the time. How do you physically prepare for a trip like this?
I'll answer first. I'm gonna try to do a lot of weekend backpacking trips. I have been so far this year, getting out even in the cold, and I'll try to keep that up. And then maybe once it gets warm, I'll try to start running a bit. But I think Ben's been a little more thorough in his preparation, so he's gonna be the better guy to answer this.
I think everybody's different as far as what they do and like how much they need to prep or want to prep. For me, I'd rather get out there and be in stupid good shape even before I get into even better shape on the trail. I've been trying to run every like 3 to 5 days a week. I've been running the stadium stairs at UC probably twice a week. The goal is to lose a bunch of weight, gain a bunch of muscle, and then the month before we go out, put on like 15 pounds because the whole time we'll just be running a weight deficit. So kind of funky, but that's my goal is just do a bunch of cardio, lose some weight, and then put a bunch of weight back on.
So all I heard was like the 2 weeks before you're just going to go on a bender just and put on some pounds.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be finals week. I'll be trying to wrap up a capstone and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna be on a bender, that's for sure.
Nice. Well, and Ben, I got to know what days you're going to do the steps, man. I've been absent from the steps. I had a good routine going. It is cold outside, but I'll join you for some steps.
That's why I'm coughing right now is because I ran it right before this, so my lungs are a little chilly.
Yeah,
It's
irritating.
also icy as heck, so maybe next week.
Good to know. Yeah, that's no fun. Last question of this sort, as far as this topic goes. Another one that's frequently asked a lot is, what are you budgeting? If you don't mind me saying, it doesn't have to be an exact number. You can not include certain things, but overall, do you have a budget in mind just for like the on trail, not like beforehand and bills or anything like that, but just on trail days budget?
Will?
Yeah, so I've been saving up for a couple years now. I got a bank account devoted solely. It's titled a PCT fund. And my goal is to have about 3,000 to 4,000 saved up, and ready to go on trail.
Nice.
Still got some work to do.
So what's that, like 20 bucks, 20 plus bucks a day?
I haven't done the math.
Cool.
Calculator.
Yeah, you're pulling it up now.
Yeah, I'm curious.
And I mean, this is aside from gear. This is your lodging, your
Yeah, it's
fun,
like $22 a day.
yeah, your fun
But
days. Your
that includes my rent, my electric bills. That's everything, you know. So
oh, okay.
20 bucks a day isn't too bad, because my rent is just a thin piece of nylon.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's room and board. That's everything. Yeah, it's the town days that add up. You could go pretty cheap on your on trail days, right? You could cut that way below, 20 bucks if you want some dollar menus and ramen, right?
That's why you just avoid town days.
Yeah. Well, avoid the pubs is the real secret, my friends, and you'll save a lot of money. Ben is somewhere in the same ballpark.
Yeah, that 3 to 4, maybe 5 on the high end. I've got a giant chunk of money ready for this, and whatever I got to do to make it happen, I'm gonna do to make it happen. So,
all right. So, Will, you heard it. He wants to make it happen. You're going along with him. He has extra cash if you run out.
I got your back, buddy.
This sounds familiar. I definitely borrowed, I don't know how many thousands of dollars from Joe when we did the AT. Like, oh, I'm out of money, man. It was just going on his credit card. I don't even think I had one yet. It's like, I'll pay you back. I promise. Yeah, it's good. So eventually, I think it only took a few years to get him some of that cash back. So, all right. Each of you, go ahead. We'll do Ben first. What will be your inseparable luxury item on the trail?
Hellenox chair. Boom.
Nice.
I'm sitting at the end of the day every day. I'm not sitting on the ground. Screw that.
That's right. Will?
I'll probably have multiple luxury items that other thru-hikers don't carry, because I tend to go ultra heavy. Maybe a battery pack for my phone, just because I'll be running gut hook for navigation and water sources, that kind of stuff, off my phone. So got to keep it charged.
Very cool. I look forward to catching up and seeing if you both kept your inseparable items the entire trail when you get back. We'll see. I think you probably both will. We'll see. We'll see about the Hellenox chair.
Steal that chair at some point.
If it breaks, the only reason I wouldn't have it is if it breaks, and if it breaks, I will be ordering a new one.
We'll just carry a little bit extra toilet paper, and you can barter for that chair more nights than he has it himself. That's the key there. I like that. Both of those items are good. I didn't even have this written up, but do you guys have an idea of your general weight going into it? Base weight is fine, or not including food and water?
I have no clue. Ben does.
But Will, you're happy with 30s, mid-30s?
Yeah, I mean, I'll carry what I have to carry.
Yeah.
If I weigh it, it doesn't really change the fact that I have to carry it. So.
Yeah, totally. I mean, PCT is known for people going much lighter than the AT even, and just really slimming that down in the low 20s. But you're a mule.
I'm at 20.9 pounds.
Nice. That's the more typical answer. Yeah.
I'm trying to skim that down, preferably to 18, but I know I'm going to throw a bunch of extra bullshit in my bag. So 20 pounds is about where I want to be, 19 to 20. Will and I are both pack mules, so neither of us really care. When I was in Hawaii and did the Nepali coast, I think I had like a 60-pound bag on my back, and that was dreadful. So I'll never get anything that heavy on the PCT, so I'll be happy.
Good gosh, I know you were carrying the pack raft, but you didn't cut anything else out when
I
you
had
added the pack
I had
raft?
all my food, a tent, a hammock, the pack raft. I had
Oh,
all my, because I didn't have a rental car, so I had all my clothing for the entire trip. Yeah, I had everything for a week and a half on that bag.
oh man.
Yeah, it was heavy.
I think I would have just like burnt some of my town clothing when I took off. Like, you're gone. I'm sorry.
I thought about ditching the paddles once or twice.
Just hand paddle it. That's dangerous. All right, next one's coming at you, Will. You hiked the entirety of the AT back in 2016. What can you tell us about how that influenced your preparation for the PCT, and how would you compare the feeling of before leaving for the AT with now, like anticipation for the PCT?
Yeah. So I think I've definitely prepared less for the PCT than I had for the AT, just because I have some idea of what went into it. Did a lot of preparation for the AT, and planning out my daily mileages and food drops and all that kind of stuff. And I think on day one, all those plans went out the window. And so for the PCT, I'm going with a more open mind of all kind of roll with the punches and deal with whatever the trail throws at me. Which is kind of a little bit less stress for me right now, which is nice. But at the same time, I've got a lot of anticipation and super excited about getting out there on the trail, just because I know that feeling of being on the trail, and that's something that I love and want to experience again. So I'm excited to get back out there and do it again, and probably a little bit less nervousness now.
Equal excitement, a little less nervous. Yeah, kind of been down the road. Ben, you've been knocking things off your bucket list, like someone 3 times your age. You've been just totally crushing it. Do you get a feeling that this one is different? And a second part of that is, do you feel pressure to complete it?
So no, I don't feel any pressure to complete it. I know I will. I don't, so like, because I feel like I know I will, I don't feel pressure, if that makes sense.
Totally.
This item on my bucket list is definitely different than a lot of the rest. A lot of the rest have been decently simplistic, and they've been things that don't take that long or that much time or that much energy or money or whatever. So doing this is definitely different, and I think the outcome of what happens after this trip, where my mind is, what I'm doing with the next 5 years, what the next big goal is. Those are all like the things that'll be different after this bucket list item gets done, is what the next one is. Is it something bigger? Is it something completely different? And I'm excited for that.
Totally. It puts pressure on kind of, every trip you do after.
Yeah.
It's hard to always one up the trips that you're doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you don't have to. You kind of take gap years in like the scale of things, kind of skip back and forth, get back to some roots, but
No, just bigger things.
just bigger things, longer trails. All right, all right.
I think Nepal comes next.
What's that?
I said I think Nepal comes next.
Oh wow, yes, that would be awesome. It's been on the list too. You both had good 5 and 5s, by the way. If you guys aren't familiar, listener wise, check out our Instagram or Facebook. But we do five dreams for the next 5 years, which is something the RT staff has been doing every year. And I think it really, visualizing things, saying them out loud, projecting them really helps you to get to them and achieve them sometimes. So try to do that in your own lives. But it's a lot of fun. You can get on and read Ben and Will's 5 and 5s posted now. Guys, kind of one of the last things I have here is words of wisdom. I want you to each share some parting words if you have any. I think you're wise people, though. Words of wisdom with our RT adventurers listening in. what one piece of advice would you share for someone who wants to plan a long distance trip like this?
I'm gonna let you go first, Ben.
Oh God, yeah, I'm in spot. Words of wisdom.
I mean, what have you learned through planning this, or what obstacle have you overcome that you can save somebody else some time or anything like that?
So I guess that's a two-parter. So one, there's a ton of stuff online from people who have done things like this before. Doing a big through hike is a little different than doing something that's kind of a one-off, because there are so many people who have done these trails. So there's a lot of good information out there that'll save you some time. The second half of that is don't plan too much. For me, my biggest thing has been in the past several weeks or months realizing that, like, hey, like Will's been saying, you can't plan this down every single day. There's things are going to change. It's not going to happen that way. And just realize that going into it, so that the comfort that you think you have in planning things so well doesn't scare you when that comfort disappears, when nothing goes according to plan. Just accept that it's not going to go according to plan, and you'll be excited to go.
I think that was very wise. Thank you. Well, he kind of stole something you already said, but see, we'll shoot it back to you.
Yeah, no, that was some great wisdom from Ben, and I'm going to build off of that. The basic piece is smiles, not miles. So the focus is not going to be on how many miles per day we can put in, or the finish line. It's the journey is the reward. So it's trying to enjoy every day as much as possible. I think I learned that in my AT hike. Maybe a little bit too late. I went into it and it was like, all right, this is a boxing match. I'm just trying to get back from every punch that it throws at me, and kind of get back up. And then it's like, okay, this isn't the right approach. I need to embrace the suck and enjoy every day, every moment to the fullest. I'm not fighting the trail. I'm a part of it.
Awesome. Dude, super wise as well. I love it. Smiles, not miles. You guys heard it here. I am told we have some questions maybe. Do you guys have a second?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see if I can get these pulled up.
As you exit out of the live stream and everybody disappears.
Oh no, did you? No, wait.
No, I'm just joking.
See if you can crack an egg.
But you can't. So how many days for filler here? How many days till departure? Do you guys have like a calendar where you're counting down days, making exits through it?
Yes.
Visit Ben's blog, Hopeless Wanderer. He's got a countdown pulled up on the website.
If I can find it, give me 10 seconds.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Nice.
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow
blog.
along, I'll be posting the whole way on hopelesswanderer.us. I also got a gig writing for the Trek, so I'll be writing for them while we're on the trail, and then I'll also be writing for Roads, Rivers, and Trails while we're out there. 91 days.
Nice. Very cool. Well, I was told to pull up the event. I don't see anything in the event. I don't know what I'm missing. Guys, if you're probably watching this on RT's page, but if it's gotten shared another way, please come visit us, Roads, Rivers, and Trails. We're in downtown Milford, Ohio. Any of your outdoor equipment needs, get you on the water, get you on the trail, get you on the boulder, whatever it is, let us know how we can help. These fine gentlemen that have joined us today, you could find in the shop with us at certain times when they're not busy with more important things like school, apparently. And so we'd love to see if you can come in the shop. I'm going to try one more time to find where these comments might be, and then we're going to let you go about your
2 side notes. Thank you to all the people who commented. We'll send you water while you're in the desert. We appreciate it. Also, Bryan will, I don't know if you saw Bryan's comment. He said he's going to do the PCT with us. So your dad's doing it with us now.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
along.
okay. They are watching. Good. All right. Well, shoot,
Is
Ben,
it-
you have the comments pulled up. You got any questions on there for us?
There's not a lot of questions on here. There's one from a guy named John Williams. What's the online resource for figuring out water in the desert section, if any? John, the resource for that, if you give me 1 second, is got to find everything on my phone.
Sorry, I'm scrolling. It's working real
You're good.
slow.
If you go to pctwater.com, you can find information. There's reports by mile, by point that tell you where everything's at. And I think a lot of those water points are based on the half-mile maps, if you've seen those. So it calls out the same water points as the Nat Geo maps or the half-mile maps. So
We also have a request for a Nepali Coast presentation, Ben. I might have to book you for that.
do it.
And maybe we can do that before you leave. We'll do because I want to hear about that. That's been on my list for a while, and you beat me to it. So a little jealous about that. I love that Bryan's joining you guys for a bit. Is it open? Can we all come out and join you?
Yeah, if anybody wants to join, just shoot us a text, get our numbers from the shop, and we'll be out there.
Bring some food.
Yeah, definitely.
You know why
bring food or beer. You're only allowed to join if you bring food or beer.
I was gonna say it's an open invite because you guys are gonna be doing 22+ mile days. It's like, yeah, good seeing you for a minute, and then you're gonna smoke everybody. Awesome. Yeah, I've only seen some of the comments. I think it's the way I got this pulled out. Guys, other questions? So like I said, these guys are at the shop at RRT all the time. Stop by or shoot us an email. We can forward any questions or contact information along. But I really appreciate, Will, Ben, thank you so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks, BJ.
Totally. Cool. Well, until next time, we'll get something up and running before too long. We'll catch you guys all later.
Take care.